Michelle, you're one of the very few guests that came prepared.
Yes, yes, I'm always prepared, even though I have not looked at them yet. But I'm
And I'm curious,
always
is there something in there that we haven't touched upon yet?
okay.
So at least I'll give you the
Okay.
opportunity.
So most people probably would want to know what they can do if they want to improve their public speaking
Yeah.
capability, right? So my first recommendation would be don't shy back, right? Because I often hear, it's not for me. It's not for me. No, 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 no. And sometimes when I tell them I'm a public speaker, I'm a public speaking coach. Okay, good. Yeah, I see it on you, but it's not for me. It's not for me. No, 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 no. But the truth is, we are engaging in public speaking all the time, right? Even just what we're doing today is a public speaking. If
It
I'm
is.
having a conversation with someone on the phone, if it's a video call, if it's, I don't necessarily need to have 1,000
An
people in
audience.
front of me, right? To make it public speaking. Yes, that would be perhaps the epitome of it, being on an elevated stage, but it's not necessarily the case. A one-to-one meeting is also public speaking. So there are so many opportunities for us to constantly reflect on how we are coming across and whether what we are saying and sharing is it having the message that we want it to have, right? So something I learned in NLP is that what we share is not necessarily how it comes across to the other person. It's how the other person receives your message. And goodness knows how many times in my experience HR, I've had to navigate situations because two different people are super angry at each other because this is not what I told you and I told you this. And I could see that possibly both of them were coming from a good place.
Yeah.
But yet, the way
can
they came
solve.
across towards each other, and then we have to find a way to mediate that situation, right? And I would be end up, but can we perhaps, it wasn't Daniel's intention that he makes you feel that way. And what he or she really wanted to say, and because of her experience, and you help them understand each other's words. So going back to the aspect of preparing yourself as a speaker, the first thing I would say, when the opportunity arises, please don't shy back. Take the courage, plug the courage, and go for it, right? If you are, be it you are a junior professional, be it you are a manager, you shoving off opportunities for speaking to someone else because you don't want to do it yourself, right? If you are already a capable speaker and you're doing it to others to give them the opportunity, that's completely fine. But if you are doing it because you don't want to be there yourself, it's another story. So I would say start small. Of course, don't start with an audience which is huge because I remember the first time I went in front of a crowd of 500, like I was, taken aback. So start small, start with small groups and become self-aware. I can never say how important it is to be self-aware. Notice yourself. How am I being received to others? Notice their body language. What happens? Their facial gestures. How do they react when you say something? Start observing as well the people around you who are impactful, who are influential. Who are those people who you work with or maybe who you engage on a social life? And somehow they are, the cheerleader. Somehow they manage to get the crowd going. The moment they say something, everyone follows. Why is that? What is it that those people do? And can you distill it? Is it their voice? Is it their body language? Is it how they phrase it? Right? So start analyzing what makes people influential and what doesn't. And the more we start drilling into this, it's like we open our acuity, our sense of awareness. And we start noticing things which are more impactful and which we can then consider taking on if we want to, right? So I can seek to emulate certain traits. Of course, I don't want us copying other speakers, but if there is a trait which I think can work for me,
Yeah.
I can take it on.
And you will do it in a different way because you're a different person.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And then, of course, there is the aspect of preparing. I'm always all in for preparing. Now, yes, even today I prepared a few notes, even though most of them I would not use anyway, but I always have that sense of security of coming here and knowing I'm prepared. And the same thing goes for professionals out there. Always be prepared, Trying to completely wing it, trying to completely make it on the fly, I don't quite recommend. Yes, do seek to give it an element of spontaneity, make it live, make it It's like our conversation today here, right? Part of it are things which I've learned, which I've studied, which are part of my training programs. But there was a good element of stories which just came spontaneously.
Yes.
So always prepare, always have that aspect of perhaps you need to prepare. I recall myself, because you asked me what I did earlier on. I remember being in the bedroom in front of the mirror and saying what I need to say, practicing my be it practicing an essay or practicing something for, I remember at university, you know, we had to write essays most of the time. Our exams were in the form of essays. And the way I used to study was I would prepare multiple essays on different subjects and then read them out loud in my room. That was my way of studying.
And this applies to public speaking as well.
It does.
Okay.
So my recommendation is first, read it out within yourself so that you internalize the message. So read it in a way that you really know what you have to say and you are able to say it back without having to look at the notes. So internalize the message. Then read it out loud. Why? Because I need to assess if I am delivering my message in front of an audience, am I speaking in a way which is clear enough? Am I articulating myself well? Or do my words are like jumbled up and no one can understand what I'm saying? Right? So how is my articulation? How is my clarity? What's the speed? What's the vocal variety? And then after that, in front of a mirror. Why? Because I need to check my gestures, my body language, how I'm gesticulating. Don't go doing it in front of the mirror first. No.
Okay.
First, internalize it so that the message is very clear in your mind. Because if I go first thing to do it in front of the mirror, what's going to happen, Daniel?
I think I would freeze.
We get distracted because we get distracted with how we are
My
looking.
eyebrows are dead, my hair especially.
Right? So the first thing is know your message really well, internalize it. Then practice the vocal part to see how it's coming along. Is it flowy? My transitions well?